Good day, esteemed viewers, ladies and gentlemen, our wonderful listeners and fellow subscribers of Ascent Litigation Radio, and welcome to another interesting and exciting moment with me, yours faithfully and truly, Honored David Njoko Esquire, and it is our duty here to ensure that we sensitize the public and foster the principle of legal literacy all over. As long as you can, this post can get to you, as long as you can watch us via whatsoever streaming platform on Facebook, on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, whatsoever platform you're watching us from, as long as you can get to you, it's our duty here to ensure that legal literacy is the watchword, and will ensure that people know their rights and they know when their rights are violated and what to do, remedies, how the law provides for remedies when rights are violated. And that is what we do here in Ascent Litigation, and that is why we every week we come with interesting topics in the front burner, topics which are interesting, whether they are economically related, whether they are in politics, whether they are in fashion, in sports, in entertainment. As long as it has some coloration of law, for some flavor of the judicial condiments, as we will call it, we will definitely discuss it here in Ascent Litigation. And today will not be any different, as we have another interesting topic for you today. Have you ever been in a situation where you possibly you are in a bus stop or you're in a market, and all of a sudden someone walks up to you and say, madam, we don't catch you today, but that you will hold us 10 million naira, you come out. Today we don't catch you. In fact, when they go police station, you will go write your statement. You be like, where do I know you? Where did I collect loan from you? Where are you coming from? What company do you represent? And all that. And only for you after maybe 4 or 5 minutes, only for you to be told, there is a secret camera watching us, so it's a prank. You'll be like, prank? This hot afternoon, someone will start playing pranks with me. So you feel somehow, you feel as though embarrassed. That is the right word to use. You will feel embarrassed, and so that is the situation many Nigerians find themselves today, and that is the reason why it is interesting, or it is needed, for us to have this discourse. So the topic of today will be how Trinity guy and pranksters violate the rights of privacy of Nigerians. How Trinity guy and pranksters violate the rights of privacy of Nigerians. Remember, sometime on 25th of June 2023, the Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Police Force, Mr. Moyiwa Ajumobi, came up and told us that the police has ordered for the immediate arrest of the popular prankster known as Trinity guy, who is a Ibadan-based comedian. And the reason for that warrant of arrest is as a result of a viral post that went out on that set 24th of June 2023, where it was posted for about 38 seconds, where we saw Mr. Trinity guy accosting a 11-year-old minor and trying to ask her to describe the color and shape of his genitals. That sparked public criticisms, and even civil liberty organizations and CSOs had to rise up to the occasion, and then it awakened the call for the right of privacy under our laws in Nigeria. Where is the law? What does the law provide? Can people just walk up to you and begin to say things to you when you are not even interested in engaging in conversation with them? Can they walk up to you and begin to want to have some form of encounter with you, whether by way of conversation, whether by way of sharing territorial space with you, all in the name of prank or comedy? Is that acceptable under our laws? And so that incident of Trinity guy, we're going to take that first of all. That incident of Trinity guy, though it's a matter in court, so we don't have to talk about dwelling about the nitty-gritties of it. But that alone is an offense, because the person involved is a minor. That's why it's an offense. So asking a minor on topics, sensitive topics as such as sexual features of a person, an adult, that is not acceptable at all. And that is one of the flaws or is that under the Child Rights Act of 2003, it comes to cure, because in section 32, section 30, and section 36 of the Child Rights Act, it prohibits any form of sexual harassment or sexualization of a minor. That means anybody that is less than the age of 18. So bring such a sensitive topic, sexual topic, to that person is depicted as an offense or a harmful publication, sexual publication for that matter. Now, assuming that young girl wasn't a minor, it's an adult, or let's say 20, 25 years, or someone above the age of 18, would that have been an offense? Because this time, why it got so much buzz in on social media and in different platforms? It's because the person involved is a minor, or was a minor. Now, what if that wasn't a minor? It was also an adult of age. Would the law have turned its eyes to the other side and say, those are adults, so those are adult talks? Now, that is the essence of this discourse today, and we are going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. Now, first of all, let's look at the market, the prank market within the media space, the comedy industry. Now, the prank market in the media industry has gone so big in Nigeria, to the extent that Nigerians, especially the youth, usually follow pranksters with pages on social media and their different blogs, because they bring some form of comic relief to Nigerians. Nigerians are suffering a lot, as someone will always say. So they just need something that is going to give them some light mood, and that is why they always follow these pranksters. Now, because of the large followership they have, they tend to have a commercial base that is so lucrative for advertisement, and so brands will always want to endorse them and then have their brands advertise on their page. And the only way they can get people to watch this very advert or to see these adverts is by making prank videos. And so they will always want to do these prank videos to promote other brands for commercial purpose and make money. Now the question is, how does the law use all this? Pranksters and their creativity content. What are the contents of pranks that is acceptable in law? And are those that are there some that are not acceptable under our laws? Now, it has gotten to the point where pranksters decide to bring content just all in the name of trying to get followership. Bring content that are sexual in nature, or they have some racist coloration or some sectional coloration, or even violent coloration, where you see content where people dress like wild madmen, wielding cutlasses, and then just going to the market or into a gathering and scaring those persons. Are those contents allowed or sanctioned in our laws? The answer is no. Our laws does not give room for any form of violence, whether it is comic in nature or it is something real. Our laws does not allow it. So it totally prohibits such content, and as such, creatives and pranksters will have to check into their content and ensure that they don't have such content that has a sexual coloration, or that has violent coloration, or that is sectional in nature, talking about a tribe as against another tribe. That is not allowed at all in under our laws in Nigeria. Now we have to talk about the right of privacy of Nigerians. What are the laws that provide for our right for privacy? What does the right of privacy mean? The right of privacy simply means that as a Nigerian, you have the inalienable rights. That means a right that inures to you as a human being, as a result of your human nature. This right comes to you, they are fundamental. You have this right to ensure that you enjoy your private, quiet space. So when you are in your space, you are not to be disturbed by anybody. So you have that right within you. Now what that right says is that you have the right to your private homes, to your private communication, to your private telegraph, and then to your private correspondences. That is what the purport of section 37 of our law. Now what this means is that when you are within a space, okay, the law allows that you are entitled to that quiet of that space. As long as that space is your private space, you are entitled to the quietness of that service space. And except you allow any other person to come into that space, then that person shouldn't come. Now, let's put this into context. When you are possibly in your compound, and then you see someone come to that very compound, all in the name of playing pranks with you, that is not allowed in our law. That is your private space, and as such, you should enjoy that space. Except you consent to that person coming in, the person shouldn't come in. Or when you are within a space and then someone wants to engage in conversation with you, or in the name of pranks, and you don't want to engage into that conversation, you do not consent to that conversation, that is your right of privacy, even though you are not within your private space, territorially speaking. But by the virtue of you being a human being and being at a particular place at a particular time, you are entitled to the privacy of your communication. So you must not commune with anybody for the sake of the person just wanting to engage in conversation with you. You insisting that your private space must be maintained or must be secured by law. The law has really secured it for you, so you must insist that that space must be respected. And every prankster or every trickster should have to respect that for that matter. Except you consent to that communication, no prankster should walk up to you and then wanting to engage in any conversation with you. Also, with respect to your body. So we've seen like this Trinity guy. Most times we see him, he gets to a bus stop, and then we've seen the situation where he'll just remove the wig of a young lady, and then the young lady will be like, "What is wrong with you? Why should you take off my wig?" That is the invasion of the privacy of the body of a person. You shouldn't do that. As a prankster, those are limit lines you shouldn't cross. Okay? So except you have the express consent of such person who must have agreed to be part of that your content creation. Okay? And that content must come before the production of that content, not afterwards. So you must get that consent for that person to allow you to tamper with anything that is affixed to his or her body. So you shouldn't do that. That is unacceptable under our laws. Now, having discussed this very line, now we have to discuss about the right of privacy within public space. We have maintained that even though it is termed right to privacy, the word privacy doesn't mean that it's only exclusive to your private space. That is the only territories where you have private ownership or sole ownership of. No. Even within public space, we have identified that the right of privacy under section 37 of our constitution goes beyond territory. It goes to the body and communication of a person. So, you as a human being, wherever you find yourself, whether within a public or a private space, you have the right of privacy to that your body. Secondly, as long as you're a human being, whether within a public or a private space, you have a right not to engage in communication or not to allow someone to engage in you in any communication whatsoever. That amounts to also your privacy. So for the fact that you're within a public space, that doesn't mean that your right of privacy ceases at that point. So the argument that the pranksters only accost people on the road or at the bus stop or at the marketplace, and then they play their pranks on them, that is not the position of the law. The position of the law is that wheresoever anybody is, he is entitled to his privacy of communication, to the privacy of his body, and to the privacy of his territory. So as long as he is standing or seated or lying down wheresoever he is, whether it's in a public or a private space, he is still entitled to the right of his privacy within that territory, and his right of privacy as to his communication and as to his person. So that is what the law provides. So don't for the fact that he is in a public space, then you cannot invade his right of privacy. It is not allowed under our laws. Now, having discussed this, we only have to understand, for you, it doesn't mean that the law does not sanction pranks at all. The law does not approve of pranks at all. No, the law approves of pranks, that you can play pranks, you can play tricks on people. But for you to play that prank or that trick, you must get the express consent of that very person. Now, why does the law say this? It is because pranksters will always want to upload these videos to the public space. like in their on their web page or their Facebook page or YouTube handle or Instagram or TikTok or Twitter. They want to upload these videos. For them to upload that video, they have to get the your express consent for that upload or for that publication. This is one of the innovations that the now Tinubu administration has brought into bear by signing the Nigerian Data Protection Act, which provides that your image is part of your data. So your data doesn't have to mean your biometrics, possibly your name, your occupation, your account number, or such details which you submit in agencies. Your pictorial display or your picture or your image is part of your data. And as such, for one to publish that data that is within his custody, that person must have your express consent to do this. This is what we call in law image rights. So that person must have your consent to do that. So for pranksters, after getting one of the essence of reason of getting consent is so that when you want to upload such image or such videos, that consent will equally cover the consent that I'm not only consenting to you talking to me or engaging me for the purpose of this prank. I'm equally consenting to you publishing, uploading this video to the public space for the purpose of the purpose of public views. Now, if the prankster fails to do this, he has infringed on the image rights of the prank victim. Number two, he has infringed on the fundamental right of privacy of the prank victim. And number three, he has infringed on the economic and commercial rights of the prank victim. Because whatsoever income he earns as a result of the upload, that prank victim is entitled to it. Because it was his or her image that was used for the purpose of making those earnings. So this brings also the remedies available to prank victims. Prank victims can approach the court and seek for damages and injunctions against pranksters. By that, they can ask the court that the court should order the prankster to pay them monetary compensation for the unauthorized upload or publication of their image or pictures to the public glare for the purpose of public viewing. And at the same time, ask the court to summon the prankster to account for whatsoever commercial earnings he or she has gotten as a result of such unauthorized upload, and for the purpose of returning such commercial earnings to the prank victims, because it is adduced in, it is deemed a law that it is as a result of the image of the prank victim that is what generated the earnings, irrespective of the fact that that prankster is a superstar or not. The law views it that it was as a result of the unauthorized upload of the image of the prank victim. That is how you make your earning with respect to that particular upload. So after getting these damages, the next thing is that the prank victim has the right to approach the court to ask for injunction. Injunction simply means a restraint, restraining the prankster from further uploading or publication of that unauthorized video content in whatsoever platform. So as a victim, you don't just sit quiet, keep quiet. As I said, it is both your image rights, your right of privacy, and your commercial earning rights that has been infringed upon. And as such, you have to, since it was unauthorized, you have to approach the court, suing the prankster and demanding for damages and injunction against such pranksters. Now, the essence of this content is not as to discourage creativity and content creation. It just has to educate the public, both the victims of pranksters, of pranks rather, and pranksters or prank artists, to ensure that for them to understand that pranksters has the rights to engage in their trade. But as they say in law, where your right stops, another's right begins. So the pranksters must know where their right stops, and then know where the rights of their victims or prank victims where their rights begins, and ensure that they don't cross the boundary so as not to infringe on the rights of prank victims or on the rights of Nigerians. We hope that this content is useful to you, and then it has added to your knowledge about the law. And as pranksters, content creators, and those within the creative industry, you have known the position of the law with respect to publication of prank videos, and ensure that you don't fall victim or on the wrong side of the law. Feel free as usual to leave us with comments, suggestions, and your questions on the comment section of whatsoever streaming platform you're watching us from. And as usual, we will always give you the quickest of response. If you want to further know about this topic of today, feel free to go to our website www.lawaccent.com, and then go to the resource icon, click on it, and you will see the article on this topic for you to read further and know your rights, so that you'll be better positioned, understanding that your image is your commercial aiming also. Until we come again your way next week, remain blessed, and as we say here in Law Accent, Shalom.